So I'm really excited because today I am chatting with my home girl, Rachel McMichael. I'm so freaking excited. We just talked for like 10 minutes. But I just freaking love you. We met in we're in the same mastermind, and we've just gotten to connect this year, and it's been so freaking fun. Like, you are just awesome.
Thank you. Yes, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know Rachel, she is a business strategist and a Facebook ads ninja. And Rachel, I would love for you to just kind of share a little bit about who you are and what you do for those people who don't know you yet.
Yeah. So I'm basically, I call myself a business strategist and a coach. I'm not one of those coaches who's like, well, why do you think you should run ads? Why is that a good decision? I'm like, no, this is what's wrong. And this is how we're going to fix it. And so,
I love it.
I mean, that's a little bit more of what I do, but I really work with female entrepreneurs, online course creators, coaches, and really help them leverage the power of Facebook ads to grow and scale their businesses. I believe there's no better way, no faster way to grow and scale your online business in this time, in this era of marketing, than with Facebook advertising. And so I'm all about paid advertising. I have an online course called The Academy. I also have a group coaching program where, again, we take female entrepreneurs, online coaches, course creators, and really help them tap into whatever it is that's holding them back.
Boom. And you actually started in like the health and wellness world, which I didn't realize. I did not know that.
I did. Yes. So I found out back in 2012 that I was pregnant. I was an executive for a company in Dallas, but I was living in Mississippi at the time. And so I was traveling all the time. And when I found out I was pregnant, I remember sitting down with my husband and saying, I just don't think that this makes sense once we have kids. So I need to find something different. So I researched everything. I thought, well, maybe I could be like a CFO for hire, or maybe I could do, and I looked at all the different things. And I couldn't find anything exciting. Well, I also wasn't super healthy at the time, but I saw my friends who were getting healthy and getting fit. And I thought, well, maybe I should do what they're doing. Like, they seem to be pretty successful. And so I thought, I'm going to see what they're doing. So I reached out to one of my husband's friends, and her name's Michelle. And I was like, Michelle, tell me what you're doing. And she said she was part of a network marketing company, but she was also a certified personal trainer. And I was like, well, then I'm going to go get certified. I know nothing about health and fitness. Like, in my mind back then, my Honey Nut Cheerios and orange juice were so healthy to eat and drink in the morning for breakfast. And like, we ate macaroni and biscuits for lunch every Sunday. Like, we were so not healthy.
That was so me too. I remember coming home one day and being like, yeah, I've been really healthy. I've been eating like a lot of Panera. And my mom was like, you realize that's just bread, right?
It's bread.
Like, that's not healthy. And I was like, it's not? Like, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was doing the exact same thing. And I was like, I'm so healthy. I'm being so great. And decided, okay, I'm going to affiliate with this network marketing company, but I'm also going to get trained as a certified personal trainer. So I sat for my NASM certified personal training certification. And my plan was, as a pregnant person with no fitness, no real nutrition or health experience, was I'm going to start teaching in-person boot camps. I'm going to start doing all these things. So I quickly realized that was not an effective strategy for someone who is trying to grow a baby. And just like how time consuming that was in person, and how I was really having to trade dollars for hours. And that I just didn't feel like that was a good long-term strategy. So I put a lot of focus on the network marketing side and on creating what I called online boot camps. Again, this was 6 years ago. It wasn't like super popular to do back then. But I started creating online boot camps, I I just did a lot of research, right? So I have no degree in marketing at the time. And, now I'm certified digital marketer, but back then I knew nothing. So I started a blog, started posting recipes. I don't know why anybody found me worthy of taking advice from, but my online boot camps really started to take off, as did the network marketing side. And what I realized during the process was my spin on health and fitness was, I hate working out, but I do it anyway, so you should too.
That's a great
And
spin.
that's still how I feel about health and wellness. Like, I don't know. I don't always love working out, but I love the results I get when I work out. So I do it anyway. Well, I mean, now I'm like 37 and a half weeks pregnant and giant. So I
Which is so
quite
funny for anyone watching this. They're probably like, wait, what do you mean? Because from like the way, like from the chest up, you would never know that you are giving birth literally next week.
yes. Um, but um but I still try to be healthy. I eat healthy, do all those things. But I learned so much during that season. And what I really learned was I love that my clients are getting results. Like I had clients that were losing like 50 pounds and like doing incredible things. It was so fun. But what I loved even more than that was actually the network marketing side and really helping my team and my coaches find success in their health and wellness businesses. And I started having people coming to me saying like, hey, you built this blog, you built this website, you have this funnel, you have this opt-in, tell me more. And so I thought, well, I want to help people with that. So I decided to start charging the same rates I would charge as a personal trainer, to help people with that piece of their business, kind of this online coaching, mentoring, teaching them how to do that. And that really morphed into one day, one of my coaches said, hey, Rachel, why don't you just do that? And I was like, nobody would ever pay me to teach them how to run Facebook ads and do funnels and stuff. I was like, everybody already knows how to do that. I just assumed because it came so easily and naturally to me that was like something of course, everybody knows how to do that stuff. Like who would ever pay someone to do that? Like when they could just do it themselves.
Isn't it so funny that it's like it's those things that are right in front of our freaking noses that they just happen. It's like, but why would somebody pay me for something that's so easy and fun?
So easy and fun. And so that's what really morphed my business. So I stopped, I actually let go, released the network marketing and released the health and wellness piece of my business so I could go and fully focus on the thing that I really loved the most, which was the marketing. I got certified in digital marketing just because I did want to make sure that I was not just teaching people the way I thought was best, but really plugged into proven strategies and systems that I knew would work for the masses and for the people that I really wanted to serve. And so that really morphed into also, again, just working with primarily female coaches and course creators who were just like me, and really helping them in the areas that I knew that I'd mastered.
Yeah, it's so funny that I didn't realize we had such similar, like parallel stories. Because that same thing, I was like, if I have to post one more freaking recipe, I'm gonna poke my eyeballs out with a fork. Like I was like done, but I was geeking out on all things funnels. But my team in network marketing, they weren't ready for that.
Right.
They were like, just teach me how to like send more DMs. I was like, no, like check out this cool funnel. And people at the newer levels just weren't ready for it. They didn't want it, at least back then, because this is years ago. And I was like, fine, I'm gonna go find me the top people in network marketing and coaching, and I'm gonna teach this to them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So then after that, you started running ads for people as well. And
yes. So I opened up an online agency, a web design and Facebook ads agency. We still take on a limited number of clients. Like our agency has actually a 6-month wait list for Facebook ads. We do web design. We still have availability from time to time for web design clients, but really that's not the focus of what I do now. The majority of what I do is I spend time on 2 main things. One is the Academy, which is my Facebook ads program. And the other is a 4-month group coaching program that kind of goes along with the Academy that helps online entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, coaches really hone in on what is the issue that's holding them back, and really get that business breakthrough that they've been looking for.
So good. And this whole idea of like leaving network marketing or even just expanding your network marketing business and transitioning and creating your own courses. There's so many women that follow and listen to the podcast who are in that spot where they're like, like I've been doing this for 2 years. I've had a lot of success, or maybe I haven't had success, but I feel really called to create something else because maybe health and wellness or oils or makeup isn't my passion. But that whole transition period of evolving a brand feels so scary when you've never done it before.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, what was that like for you when you were like, oh my gosh, I'm going to like close up my network marketing company and like stop doing personal training?
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So the first thing to go was actually the online personal training. I still held on to the network marketing for a little bit longer. The first thing to go was the online personal training, because again, I knew that my passion was really helping other people who want to be business owners. So the network marketing still made a lot of sense for me because I could really mentor my team. And I remember it's so funny to look back because I remember thinking I need to let this go, but hanging on, even though I really wasn't into it anymore. And everyone knew I wasn't into it anymore. My whole team knew, my upline knew, like everyone knew. But I still kept hanging on. And when I finally called my upline to say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm leaving, it was not like I thought she was going to be so mad or disappointed or whatever. And she was like, duh, like we knew this was coming. Like this is not a surprise.
No one is shocked.
But I had to release that because I couldn't open up my I needed to give fully to the thing that I was meant to do. And I couldn't give fully to the thing I was meant to do. And I was trying to do this other thing that I knew I wasn't meant to do. So when I stopped, I thought that it was going to feel paralyzing. I thought that I was going to feel, what if I go bankrupt? What if I don't have this consistent check coming in every month? But what it really felt like was a complete weight and burden off my shoulders. Like I felt lighter as soon as I did it. And so I knew right then and there that I'd made the right decision, and I never looked back.
Wow. I think that's such an important message. It's like, if it doesn't feel aligned, move on.
Yes.
Move on. So like, what do you think was your resistance? Like, was it guilt? Because I hear so many women, they're like, well, I don't want to leave my team behind. Like, what will my upline think? What will my like, this is like the biggest thing you hear from people, like, what will my followers think? They're going to be so confused if I change my messaging, even though they're like moving it by like a 10-degree dive. Like, they're going to be so confused. They're not going to know what's going on. And I'm just like, girlfriend, people are not watching your stuff that closely. Like, it's a slight, it gives you that permission to just be like, you're not that special, but that's a good thing. Like, no one is following your stuff that closely. No one's as obsessed with it as you are. Everyone's busy with their own lives. So they're not going to be shocked and surprised and like need a day to like process the fact that you've changed your brand.
Right. And I think you're right. Like, I think a lot of times our ego gets in the way. Yeah. And we're like, we think we're so much of a bigger deal than we are. And it's all about this mindset thing that has, the mindset has been the number one thing in my business. It's the one thing that will move me forward. And it is the one thing that will hold me back every single time. And what I've realized is that if I focus on what other people think, then I hold myself back from serving the people I was meant to serve and from living the life I was meant to live. And so I have to stop worrying about the people that would never do business with me anyway, that are never going to be interested in what it is that I know I'm meant to be doing. And so the people who are supposed to be with me, they're going to be with me. And the people who aren't, they're not. But does their opinion matter that much? Like, unless they're God or my husband, they just don't.
Preach. And I think it's funny too, because you said, you're like, it's, what other people are going to think of me. But I would say probably like 9.9 times out of 10, it's not what other people are thinking and saying. It's what we think, or what we're afraid other people are going to think or say. And so there's like the litmus test where you're like, well, people are going to think it's weird. And I'm like, based on what? According, like, who thinks it's weird? They're like, oh, I don't know, like, people might. I'm like, okay, so this is just like one possible scenario. This is not even like happening.
Yes, we make up these stories in our head and nobody's even told us this story. We've told it to ourselves and we fell for it and we believed it. And it's not even something that anybody's ever said. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it does
for people, right?
Yeah, I was actually, so I do network marketing again now actually too. So I have a network marketing business in addition to what I do with the business coaching. And I'm constantly talking to my team about this because I think the reality is that so many times we use past stories and past beliefs and we make them mean something today. And so, the fact that I asked people to trade pictures with me in 9th grade and they all said no or lied lied to me and told me that they didn't have any pictures to trade, has somehow made me think that having sales conversations with people today needs to be hard or scary. Well, ninth grade Rachel, like, I mean, was that horrible? Of course it was horrible. Was it embarrassing? Of course it was embarrassing. Should I still be hung up on it? Like 20 something years later? Probably not. Like, and is that still my reality today? No. So why am I letting something that happened way back then, directly influence what I'm doing now and hold me back from serving people I'm meant to serve, or from having conversations with people I'm meant to have conversations with? And so I think we do that a lot. We use completely unrelated stories that happened in our past, completely unrelated things, to almost like trick ourselves into saying, well, nobody wanted to come to your birthday party, so nobody will want to
Want to join your challenge group.
Right now. Yes. And that's so ridiculous. Like it's not even true. It's a fake story we've told ourselves. And it's really limiting us. It's all our mindset that's holding us back.
Oh my God, Rachel,
from really serving people.
It's so true. So many of us are, and I fall into this trap as well. And I think most successful people who are moving quickly and taking action on their goals, different things are going to come up as you are expanding your visibility. But so many people are still setting goals and making decisions based on past versions of themselves.
Right.
And there is less growth that can happen when we're existing or operating from that type of a mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I love that you're like super into mindset, even though you're, so techy, because I'm all about the strategy myself. And that used to be like the main thing that I talked about and coached around. But now, like over the last like year and a half, I've really made that shift. Like, whoa, like I can give people the best strategy on the planet, but if they don't have the beliefs of a successful person, they're not going to take action. So I'm curious, what are your biggest beliefs about business and success?
Oh, that's really good.
This is like my favorite question that I ask people, and they're like, what a deep but fascinating thing to consider.
I mean, I truly believe that anything is possible for anyone. It's just a matter of going and doing it. And I think where most people get hung up is they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe it's truly possible for them. So they don't take the action they need to take to get the results they need to get. And so I can give you, I have a great ads course. You can take my ads course, but so many people will take that course and they will never run an ad. And it's not because I didn't teach them the strategy. It's not because they don't know how to run an ad, but something in their mindset paralyzes them from putting themselves out there, because they're, again, like you said, like they're scared of what other people might think, or what someone might say, or what if I lose money, or all the what ifs. And so I truly believe in this day and age, there's nothing that can't be done. But there's only a small fraction of people who are going to be willing to do it, and who are going to be willing to never give up. And I think steadfastness in business is the key to success. The only way to fail is to quit. And if you keep going and you keep trying and you keep working at it, you will see results. But so many people quit.
Yeah. And so I think there's an interesting belief that you have within that as well, that failure is only if you give up, and giving up is not an option.
Right.
So I think that's a huge thing. I know for myself, one of my really good friends just started building an online business, and having, the early day breakdowns of like, oh my God, a funnel, like emails, I don't understand how this works. And like going through that moment, like you did in fourth grade when you were trying to learn long division and you're the only one in the room that didn't get it, and you felt like your head was on fire. She's going through that phase of entrepreneurship. And I was just like, you need to develop the belief, I can figure anything out. Yes. And I didn't have that when I was a kid, but I realized in talking to her the other day, I'm like, oh, wow, that is one of my beliefs about success and business for myself. And that is one of the beliefs that has helped to propel me to where I am today, because I don't understand things necessarily right away. I have a learning curve just like the next person. I'm not extra smart. I don't have a particularly like extra high IQ. I'm like very average in all boxes, but I have the belief that I can figure anything out. So your
I'm like
beliefs.
not average in all boxes. Like,
Well, like
we
on
just
paper, like, SAT tests and IQ tests, like, but that none of that matters.
none of it matters.
Because you could be the most talented person, you could be the prettiest person, you could be the smartest person, but if you're not taking action on any of that shit, then nothing is getting done.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's really, really huge. And I think the other thing that you said that's really, really important is that there is a learning curve and you have to expect a learning curve. And so many times, like we have, many of us who have come into entrepreneurship came in after we'd already done things in business, right? So maybe we had worked our way to the top of a company, or we had, been a really great teacher for the last 5 years and we'd mastered it, but we forgot what it was like on day one, right? Like I remember my very first job at Old Navy, and I started and I didn't know how to fold the clothes the way they needed me to fold them. I didn't know how to unlock the dressing room. I didn't know how to work the cash register, but I learned and I mastered it and I became awesome at those things. And my first day in public accounting, I didn't even know how to turn on a laptop, y'all. I had to learn how to turn on a laptop. I had to learn all the systems. I had to learn the jargon. I had to learn all of those things. I learned those things and I mastered them. We come in sometimes to our online business and feel like we should have it mastered, whether it's network marketing or whether it's coaching or whatever it is. Well, we should have it mastered now, or we should have it mastered in a week. We should have it mastered. I mean, we should already be at the top of our company in 3 months. And it's like, that is so ridiculous. And that's not the way it was anywhere else. Now, is that possible? Of course it is. Are there success stories of people who started something and like within 3 months they were millionaires? Of course, absolutely. But so what? What if it takes 5 years for you to really learn and master it? Is it still worth it? To me, it is every single time. And so I always want to be that student who says, what else can I learn? How can I continue to improve? How can I get better? How can I serve people better? How can I help my community better? And I'm okay with not being the master and with not having it all figured out all the time because of just what you said. Everything's figure outable. I'm going to figure it out. And I think that's where a lot of people start and stop really quickly is they think, well, it's too hard. Well, everything's hard at first. Everything we learn how to do at first is hard.
Oh my God, so many nuggets. I'm like processing. But I think even what you just said, those questions that you were asking, like, how can I serve even more? Those are the questions that successful people are asking, as opposed to those who are struggling of like, why is this not working? Why are more people not liking this? Or whatever those questions may be. So the questions that we ask, or the better questions you ask, the better answers you're going to get.
Absolutely.
So like when you're asking those questions, I think that's so profound. It's like, how can I serve it at a higher level? Your unconscious mind is like, boom, here's 10 ways. But if you're saying, why haven't more people followed my page today? You will also get answers. They probably won't be very motivating ones.
So true. So true. So true. And it's kind of like what we were talking about before we hit live, where, I'm working on something right now. I'm working on a project right now. It's not going exactly like I expected. I'm not totally obsessed with the results right now, but I know that it's possible. I just know there's something that I'm missing and I'm going to figure it out. 2019, it will be figured out.
You and I both.
Exactly. And so it's not a question of like, am I going to figure it out, or am I going to quit, or am I just going to not do it? Well, no, I'm going to figure it out. It's just not working like I want it to right now. So, and I'm going to fix it.
And there's no time for sitting in a corner and rocking back and forth.
Right.
It's like time to get shit done. So I'm curious too, because you mentioned you're in another network marketing company now and you're doing extremely well. So what does that look like alongside or combined with your coaching business?
Well, I spent all of 2018 trying to figure that out.
I love it.
So I did. I after I left network marketing, I said I will never do network marketing again. And so of course, this time last year, I signed on with another network marketing company. And oh man, there were so many, such a complicated question because there were so many decision factors that went into even joining, to be honest. For me, I already had a very established business, a very established agency, a multi-six-figure name and brand. And so part of me was worried about brand reputation. Part of me was worried about, I had PTSD from like leaving last time, right?
Yeah.
And also from just being spammed and like having just really some icky conversations in between the time when I was not a part of a network marketing company and people were wanting me to be a part of their organizations or buy from them. And so I really sat down and I asked myself 4 questions. And these are questions that I ask anytime I make any type of business decision. And I just asked myself, like, is this a good timing in the marketplace for this for this business? Is this the right product? Something I'd really want to be aligned with? What kind of leadership am I going to be following under? Like who are my leaders? Do I trust the leadership of this brand, of this company, of this upline that I'm going to be partnering with? And then am I going to get paid to do this business? I'm a businesswoman. Like at the end of the day, like the reality is like, I want to help and serve, but I'm in business to be in business and to make money. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I'm not going to apologize for that. And so I want to look and make sure that those things all matched up. Well, I found this company and I could check yes to every single box. And so then it was like, well, but I kind of care what other people think about me. And I was like, am I going to let that hold me back from something that could be really awesome? So I joined the company and it has nothing to do with Facebook ads or business strategy or helping people grow their online businesses. But here's what I realized for myself. Like, what am I truly passionate about? I'm truly passionate about helping female entrepreneurs grow and scale their online businesses. And that sounds like so generic, but it's so true. And this gives me another avenue to do that in a way that I can't do with just coaches and course creators. This gives me another platform to really help women who maybe are just looking to make an extra $500 a month or are just looking to do more, be more, have more. And I was talking to a few people in our mastermind and they were like, well, we started in network marketing or, network marketing was where I really found my greatest growth in personal development. And so having the opportunity to really coach, lead, and inspire other women really made the decision so easy for me. But this product has nothing to do with my online business. So for a long time, I really struggled with like, how do I do both? Do I put, do I
blend them?
Website? What do I do? And for me, and this goes against what I would probably teach somebody who was just doing network marketing. But for me, because I'm doing both, my network marketing business is not the front. It's not what I lead with. It is absolutely a part of my brand. It is something I take a lot of pride in. It's something I enjoy doing. But my business brand, the Rachel McMichael Consulting brand, has nothing to do with that. And so for me, I have actually kept those brands very separate. And it took me a long time to do that. I didn't do that at first. At first, I tried to mesh them. I tried to marry them. And well, I think I really confused my audience and unintentionally. And I didn't do it. I never thought about, well, is my audience going to be confused or should I not do this? Or I just thought like,
hey, I've got this great thing for you. And
I know.
I want to share it with you.
But I think it really confused people. And a lot of people thought, I don't think she's doing ads anymore. I think she's just doing network marketing. And so for me, that's where I realized, well, I have to really separate my message. And I'm okay with that. Now, I don't know that that's what everyone needs to do. That's what works for me. That's what works for my brand. That's what works for my business. But I think that's because I spent so long building the Rachel McMichael brand. The network marketing thing is still only just a year and a few months old, right? Yeah. So we're taking a year-old business and trying to mesh it into a 6-year-old business. And I don't know that again, made sense for me for what I'm doing.
That's such a good point though. That's such an interesting way to frame it. Trying to mesh a 1-year-old business with a 6-year-old business. Yeah. I don't know why.
It just, Yeah. And so for me, the branding is separate. The marketing is separate. The way that I approach both is separate. I do a lot of my network marketing is more of the behind the scenes network marketing. It's
Mhm.
individual conversations. It's day to day, when I'm in contact with people versus my other business is very like front marketing, attraction marketing, curiosity marketing, very much,
Mhm.
Facebook advertising funnels, all of those things. And so I have pieces of those. The great thing about knowing systems is I've got pieces of that for both brands. But they do look very different. And I just had to get okay with that. And I think that's where most people struggle when a lot of network marketers do more than one thing. Or, a lot of people do what I did first, right? They go from network marketing into something else, or maybe they build a big brand and they pair a network marketing alongside of it. I know a lot of big influencers who never talk about their network marketing
Mhm.
companies who do great in both arenas. I know a lot of big network marketers who never talk about their other business and do great in both arenas. I know people who talk about both. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I think we really have to figure out what works for us, for our audience, for our brands, and that could be different for everyone.
So well put. And you also tested it. You gave
Yes.
yourself a chance to say, okay, this might not be perfect. I don't know what it's going to look like, but let's explore it. And I think that in itself, just taking action on, experimenting to uncover what it actually would look like, I think that is kind of one of the only ways you're going to get the answers for yourself.
Absolutely. And my audience was really clear with me,
That's
on
good.
what they wanted to hear and what they didn't.
Which is amazing. Which is amazing. So I'm curious, from your perspective, what does growing a network marketing business look like in 2018, 2019?
Well, it's very different than it was, back then. And what I would say is consumers are really smart and savvy now. And when it comes to network marketing, I think we all just have to be really honest. There's a stigma, right?
Mhm.
Like let's just the elephant in
Elephant
the
in the
room,
room.
right? Like there is a stigma associated with network marketing, and there is nothing that we are going to do to change that stigma other than to be different. And so that's what we have to do. We have to be genuine, we have to be different, and we
Yeah.
have to be truly about building relationships. We have to stop being icky, stop being spammy, stop cold messaging people and cold messaging our friends. That doesn't work. It never works. You will never meet a leader in any top leader in any company that says cold messaging was the way that I found my success.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't happen. And I know you teach that, Jen. I mean,
Yep.
it just doesn't work. And so what we have to do is we have to get real, we have to get authentic, and we have to get savvy about the way that we speak to our audience. We have to tell stories and we have to be intentional. And
Mhm.
so it is a different business than it used to be. Uh, it's very, very different.
So different. And I want to clarify for everyone, when we say cold messaging, we're not talking about simply messaging people in the DMs. That can work if you have a relationship with that person and
Yes.
it makes sense to reach out, or you're building a relationship with that person. The cold messages are where, you follow somebody on Instagram and immediately you either get a bot or them reaching out going, hey girl, love your journey, like you should join my next challenge, or whatever it may be. That's somebody I
Yes.
don't know, I don't have a relationship with, I've never looked at their stuff, they've taken not even 2 seconds to go and search what my actual name is, even though it's in my handle. It's like that.
Yes.
Those I don't even respond to. I
So
just
I
ignore
get a
them.
lot of those. Exactly.
It's
So I
all
think
day long.
it's all day long. And exactly what Jen said. There's a difference between having an authentic conversation with somebody you know in Messenger, which by the way, no matter where you're at, whether you're in network marketing or whether you're in any online business, sales happen in Messenger. Like they
In the
happen
DMs.
behind the
Yep.
scenes. They happen on the phone or in Messenger. They're not happening on the front page of Facebook ever. Um, Rarely. They're typically
Unless maybe live video.
live
Like
video.
off of a live
Yes.
video. But again, that's basically like it's relatively close to being on the phone, especially if somebody's like, I think I want to join your program. I'm really curious. And you're doing like a live Q&A. I've sold
Exactly.
a good amount just through that, where people are like, I just signed up,
Exactly.
and then 5 more people. That's a little bit different than just a cold link, which Facebook's burying anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I think that's huge. I get them all the time. Like I'll get ones about, hey, do you want to join my wine club? I'm like, I'm 8 months pregnant. like and I've been sober for 6 years. So if you actually like had a conversation with me, you would know that not only am I not going to drink your wine, I'm probably not going to sell it because it'd be really, really inauthentic for me to be like, well, I don't know. I've never actually tasted it, but you should totally buy from me. Like, it's so
Amazing.
awkward.
Amazing. And I
But they
get ones about like being a mom.
yes.
It's like, hey, do you want to join my mommy boot camp, lose all the baby weight? I'm like, I don't have kids, so I don't know why I'm getting this message.
Yes. So exactly. That's very, very different than having an authentic conversation with someone and go, like, if I were to go to Jen and say, Jen, hey, like, you're awesome. I love what you do. I have this thing. I think it could be really fun for us to do it together. Have you ever thought about doing it? And Jen would then say like, well, no, and here's why. And then I have an opportunity to talk to her about that. But that is, here's the difference. It's like asking someone to go to Starbucks with me or go to Chick-fil-A with me. Like that's the way I'm going to have a conversation with someone about my business or about my products is, hey, you want to go to Starbucks? And if they're like, no, I don't drink coffee, I'm not going to be like, well, you really should drink coffee. Like, what's wrong with you? Like I'm going to be like, oh, okay. Like no big deal. Because that's truly how light and airy and totally relationship focused those types of conversations are when it comes to building the business.
Light and airy. And that's something that most people are like, that's possible. It can be light and airy. They don't have to be my nightmare of every morning waking up and having to send 60 cold DMs to get ghosted on the reg. Like,
I mean, I do respond to the DMs and I ask them, does this strategy ever work for you?
I was doing that for a while and
never respond.
Oh, they don't? It's funny because in the beginning, when I wasn't getting quite as many of them, I would let them know. Actually, it was like, oh, I'm actually a business coach for health coaches and network marketers. And if you're looking for a different way to build your cold audience, you should come join my Facebook group. And I would just flip it and they'd be like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And come join because they realized just this is probably not working. And I think that there is, especially in network marketing, from many of the ladies that I've talked to, there is a desire to find a different way.
Absolutely.
Like
that's why they need to be hanging out with you, Jen, because you know the different way.
Well, I think there are leaders that are like you that are moving the industry forward. And I think it's people like you that are going to be the ones who are still really successful, growing successful teams and helping other people move forward in this. Because you're up to date on what's happening across the board in marketing. And I think that's one thing where people stay in their bubble. So I'm curious for you, just because I know so many people are always asking me, the number one question I get from network marketers is, how do I attract more business builders? And I mean, you are the epitome of like the 10 out of 10 person that someone would want to attract onto their team. So I'm curious, what attracted you to, in both instances, to your particular team or leader or company?
So really, yeah, that's a really interesting question. So let's talk about this time. So this time I was sitting at dinner. I was at dinner in New York with a friend, and we were talking and she mentioned what she was doing. And I remember thinking, that's great for you, but I would never do that. But then I started watching and she was so consistent and so, on target with just the way that she shared about her business. She wasn't spammy. She wasn't icky. She never really even asked me about it again. But I started, like, she planted a seed and I started to get curious. And so I watched her and she stayed consistent.
How long did you watch her? Because I think this is important.
Yeah, I watched her for 3 months. Mm-hmm.
So guys, 3 months of consistency from planting the seed to having you reach out. I think it's so important for people to realize that like the work that you're doing now is not for this month. The work that you're doing now, you're going to reap the benefits of that in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months.
Absolutely.
It's all going to snowball. Okay, continue.
Absolutely. And so that was really important. The other thing oh goodness. So here's the thing. I have had people who I thought were going to be amazing business builders join my team, people with big platforms who have the same work ethic I have, who have great audiences, who have done nothing with the business. And so what I have learned over time is that I cannot pre-qualify my business builders, because just because someone is an influencer does not mean that they're actually going to use their influence or leverage their influence. So for me, what I found is it's not even totally about attracting what I call like quote unquote, like the perfect business builders. It is about working with the willing. And sometimes the willing don't look like me or like Jen or like other people that you would think are business builders. And so I think that's a real big fallacy in this industry, is that a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm only going to try to talk to people with at least 10,000 Instagram followers. Well, that's ridiculous. The biggest business builders on my team right now, who are making tens of thousands of dollars every single month, do not have 10,000 followers on Instagram. They are normal people who have made a decision, and that's what it boils down to. They have made a decision. They're not going to quit. They're going to figure it out, and they're going to keep moving forward even when it gets hard and even when they want to stop. And so those are the people who have done the best. Some of those had followings, some of those didn't have followings. And I don't care in my business, like with my team, if it takes someone a year, or if it takes them 5 years, if it takes them 10 years to get the results they want, that is irrelevant to me. The question that I have is, are they willing to take daily action, consistent daily action? Because for me, that's what a really good business builder does. They take consistent daily action, no matter what, even when they don't feel like it, even when it's not fun, the consistent daily activity, because that is what attracted me into this business, was somebody who consistently took daily action.
And that daily action, what did that look like? Just for people to really understand, because that person was consistently visible.
Consistently visible. So this person never posted a spammy product post from her company. Like she never posted a product picture or something that the company had given her. She went on live video probably about once a week just to share different things. And it wasn't always about her business. Now, sometimes it was funny things like, 10 reasons. It was like, she did this like Jeff Foxworthy thing about like 10 reasons why your MLM is horrible. And it was things like having to, like you go to your corporate event and like 7 of you have to share a room and eat peanut butter sandwiches because you can't actually afford to be at the event. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I remember that. And so just, she was herself. She shared personal stories. She didn't make it all about the business all the time. Like I knew what else was going on in her life. She was engaging. She was funny. And I thought, man, like I want to be friends with her. Like, even if I never do business with her, like I want to be friends with her. And I think I might want to do business with her too. And so she really attracted me because, one, she was consistent in posting about the business. So I never wondered, like, is she still doing that? I don't know if she's still doing that. I haven't seen her post about it in like 4 months.
Right.
And then she posted about it like 15 times in a week because they have some like major sale. Like, no, she didn't do that. She was consistent. So I knew she was still doing the business, but everything she shared was just like you teach, Jen. It was like more story, more, just life. She's just a really effective marketer with a really effective marketing strategy. She probably plugged into some of your stuff.
Well, I think this is so huge for everyone to hear, because the marketing strategies that are working for the 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs that are selling courses and programs, there is so much overlap when you look at the core foundational things. Maybe the funnel looks a little bit different or the ad looks a little bit different, but the foundational pieces of psychology and marketing is the same.
Yes.
It's the same. So do you have any other words of wisdom that you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I think if I could give one piece of advice to someone, like if someone were to walk away and they were like, what's one thing that you think is the most important thing when it comes to your online business? No matter what, quite frankly, like whatever you do in life, okay, it would be this one thing. And it would be, I would tell you, don't stop. Like, keep going. Don't quit. Figure it out, because it is possible for you. And the minute that you stop believing that is the minute that it won't be possible anymore, because you'll stop. And so I truly believe if you do not stop, if you keep going, you will figure out a way. And then I would just couple that with plug into proven strategies and proven methods. You don't have to reinvent the wheel in anything anymore. People have gone ahead of you and they have figured it out. And we waste so much time, so much energy, and so much effort trying to figure it out ourselves when we could plug into someone else's proven system, learn it, execute it, and be consistent with it daily, and really see mega results. And so I think those would be the two things for me. But really, like, don't give up. Like, stay consistent, stay the course, don't give up. And then my second piece would be plug into a proven system. Don't try to go at this alone. I certainly didn't, and I would never recommend that somebody do that. That's the hard way. You don't have to do it the hard way. There's an easier way, and there's a faster way. So
such good advice, and I love that it's coming from you, because I feel like you're kind of got your hands in two things. You're like the Facebook ads go-to person, which is one of the things where people give up so often, and then network marketing, where people want to give up after a year. So it's like, if anybody can speak on this and give a little tough love here, it's you. So thank you for
absolutely. Well, thank you.
This was so fun. Where can people go to learn more about you and what you offer?
Yeah, the best way to connect with me is on my website, rachelmcmichael.com. There's links to social media. There's links to free offers that you can download. But yeah, rachelmcmichael.com is the best way to connect.
Amazing. Okay, guys, I'm going to link up all of that stuff. And you also have a podcast that I was on recently.
I do.
So you got to plug that, because it's such an amazing show.
Yes. So I have a podcast. It's called Business with Impact. It's on iTunes. You can search Business with Impact. I'm the only one. So Business with Impact with Rachel McMichael. And truly, it's 15 to 20 minute episodes, really talking about just what we're talking about today. How do you make an impact in your business? What do you need to do to get there? And I interview guest experts in all different fields. So Jen was on there with me. We've had people talk about Facebook groups, copywriting, legal, mindset, all the different things. And honestly, like, I love to do the podcast because I learn so much as I'm interviewing my friends. I'm taking notes. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, this is so good. So I get a lot of value out of it, even if no one else ever listens to it. But a lot of people do listen. I get a lot of great feedback. So I definitely invite you to listen to Business with Impact podcast.
Oh my gosh. And I've listened to a couple episodes, and it really is so good. And I love that you're keeping it short, sweet, to the point. And you've been bringing on some A-listers who are just bringing the value. So guys, go check it out. I will link that up for you as well. Yeah, thank you so much for being on. I just freaking love you. I'm so excited to be in the mastermind again with you, and just hang out for the next 12 months.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me a DM, or again, rachelmcmichael.com, fill out the contact form. I'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Awesome. Well, guys, if you love this episode, be sure to take a screenshot of the show and tag us on your Instagram stories at HeyJenCasey and at Rachel McMichael, so that we can talk to you and give you some love. Awesome. Well, have an amazing day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.